Hello, 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 everybody. How are you? Welcome to another show of. Let me see. Okay, well, we can see the faces down below. Nice
Yeah.
faces. Welcome to another show of this Live Producer Week. How are you, Stephen? Today I got Stephen to be my partner. I think Joe will join us in a moment. How are you, Stephen?
Thank you, Marco. Thank you. We need to be.
I don't hear you very well.
You can't hear me.
Okay, now it's okay.
Right. Okay. Well, this is a live video gremlins. I mean, this is the third show this week, and it's going to be the best. But it's been enjoyable so far, and we've had ups and downs. And today is going to be one of the ups, as you are looking at Restream.
Absolutely. We hope so. So, Stephen, I think it's good to talk a little bit about the project. And since you're the father of the project, do you want to share some how do you came up with this idea? How did you start it and how is this evolving?
Certainly, and thank you. Basically, Mark and I have been broadcasting together with the team that you see below us for the last 3 years. And we've done a week of shows Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. And I've produced all the shows, and they've all been on the same platform. Now, when we come to this week, which is Live Video Production Week, we're on a different platform every day. So Monday was Be Live with Brigetti, Tuesday was StreamYard with David, today is Restream with Marco, Thursday is Melon from Streamlabs with Nick Wood, and then on Friday I'm going to do OBS Ninja. The whole idea of this week is to give you a look behind the scenes of what's possible with each of the 5 platforms. All have their best features, all have things that are missing. We're not going to talk about the missing bits, we're going to talk about the feature bits during the course of this week. The other thing that we're doing later this afternoon in this broadcast is to launch the live video production blueprint. Now, Joe Shepherd's a good friend of ours, and since we had the idea for the blueprint back in September, he's been working away with the team and come up with a blueprint which is for broadcasters. At the moment, it's a bit like the Wild West. There's no framework for broadcasters. Broadcasters don't know what services they can actually supply to customers, and customers certainly don't know what broadcasters can do. So we've got 2 frameworks, one of which is for show producers, and the other one is for potential clients. Now, bringing those together will start today, and in about 2 weeks' time, we'll actually launch the blueprint. But the thing this week, and Sarah Brigetti, the thing this week is that we're talking about different systems. Now, they're well-established systems, apart from the one at the end of the week. Be Live and StreamYard. Restream, Marco and I have been tracking since last May when this studio first launched. Tomorrow is Melon. Now, Melon is by Streamlabs. Streamlabs have millions of users around the world, but they're known for OBS. They now have a web version, which Mark and I have enjoyed using, and so has Nick, and so has Brigetti. So you can see that broadcasters are actually going to use it and have tried out. So Nick's going to give us a grand tour of Melon on Thursday. And then on Friday is OBS Ninja, which is a totally free system, which I personally am promoting. Basically, if you live somewhere where the current systems are too expensive, then OBS Ninja is a free alternative because OBS costs nothing. OBS Ninja costs nothing. It's not got all the bells and whistles that we're going to show you on StreamYard this afternoon. Sorry, on Restream this afternoon, but it does work. It does allow you to have 7 people on screen from anywhere in the world coming in via desktop or laptop or iPad or mobile. It all knits together so that everybody's in the one room. That room goes out to OBS, and from OBS we can go to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Periscope, wherever you want to. So the idea for doing the 5 platforms is that, with one exception, I'll leave Marco to name it, with one exception, I use 4 of them. on a regular and semi-regular basis. So that's where the names came from, the fact that I use them. And of course, one of them had to be included simply because they just sold their company for $250 million.
Perfect, Steven. Thank you so much. It's kind of a pleasure being part of this project because we learn a lot. We gather people from all over the world, and also we have so much fun, which is also good. And also we share our passion with our audience, which hopefully we'll learn and we'll get good insights from these uh, talks, these conversations. Well, Stephen, I have to ask you here in front of the people if you can share your Restream Studio, because well, I can show a part of the dashboard, but unfortunately because the show started on Restream, I can't show the studio, which is something important. So I'll start, if you don't mind. I will start with showing the dashboard when we where we see where when you can add okay, let's see if I can do this, because okay, I think this will skip to the okay, yes, there's one thing, but we can see, for instance, okay, here is where we get to recordings. That's something that Restream allows us, like StreamYard, like Be Live, for instance. At the end of the show, you have the recordings, kind of splitted files. One is just the video, and the other one is just the audio. For instance, if you want to record, if you are making a podcast, this is good because you don't have to use a third-party tool to extract just the audio. They give you the the files, okay, at the end. So you, for instance, you can download the video or just the audio, okay. And then here is a scheduler where you can, it's, I think it's one of there's no much tools on the market that allows you to broadcast pre-recorded videos. This could be good or this could be bad, because some people, they try to fake live videos, and I don't agree with that. And you, Stephen?
I think that if you label it properly, you say this broadcast was originally took place on this platform on this date. I think if you're fair to people, and that's the first line of the description. I mean, there is a company which is not Restream, which that's all they do is rebroadcast recorded video, and they've done it quite successfully. So I think it doesn't cause too many problems, providing you do mark it as being a replay.
Okay, perfect. And for me, this feature, analytics, is one of the most powerful features on Restream. I'm gonna just show you a little bit of the thing. For instance, it counts the streams you make, and you can set the time range which you want to see. It says how average your streams last. It's amazing. It's amazing because average duration, streamed time, the chat, the message you got. Okay, there's so many things. Even it makes a chat trends like this cloud word clouds. It's the right. Is it right? Word clouds the name, Steven? It's very useful. It says how many minutes your audience. So I'm not using that often use lately Restream, so I think I have few data here. Okay, so you can check everything here. Okay, so here in the events, it's where you can schedule a show. Okay, you can just create an event. You can pick a video you recorded or start from the zero. Okay, you just put a title, description. You can upload an image. You can set the date, and then you can pick the places where you want to go live, and it's very easy to use. Okay, so now I'm gonna steal the studio from Steven. If you don't mind, Steven, to make
It should be
a
available
guided
now.
tour. Okay, yes, it is. So
Okay. So
there's uh, I don't know if you want to
right.
guide the tour, or if you want you want to be my hands and I am the mouth.
Right. Okay. This is the studio, and this is basically what Marco can see at the moment. I switched my camera off here because I can't be in two studios at the same time. It'd be too perplexing. But the thing about it is, if I take you on a guided tour, and I will switch my camera back on so you can see that it's actually me, and switch it back off again quickly to save resources. You can have any microphone you want, you can have any camera you want, you can switch between camera and microphones whilst you're live. You can screen share, as we're doing at the moment. You can invite guests, and we're up to 9 guests, Marco?
Yes.
Yeah. You can have up to 9 guests. And as you can see, you can at the bottom change the layout to one of the predetermined layouts. And Marco's using one of those at the moment to actually display as alongside the screen share that I'm doing.
Yes. And for
And then
instance, if
you
you don't mind, if you allow me to interrupt, one of the
just,
things we can do is to change the place where people are. As you may see, I'm changing. I'm put. Hello, Joe. How are you?
Hi guys, how are you? I wasn't expecting. I jumped into the studio and then realized I was on the air.
Okay, so no problem. I don't be nervous. So
All good.
I'm showing how this can change, how we can change the layout
Absolutely.
on Restream. If you don't mind, Steven, to show the buttons there where you can do this.
okay, just a minute. I'm going to switch back on. So you can now see me twice. My apologies for this. But I mean, I haven't got a second thing to show. Yeah, I mean, I can
Okay,
press,
maybe you can invite Joe to join your broadcast, and this could be also to showcase how you can bring guests to your show.
right. Okay.
If you don't mind.
Oh, just new buttons here, Marco.
Yeah, that one is to play local videos. It's
Right.
very good. For instance, if you want to bring a long video and if you want to take control of that, because those videos that like you can upload on StreamYard and also on Restream, there's 2 options. And this one, if for instance, intro video, countdown video, outro video, some section videos, which used to make a kind of separator, those videos you can't control. You hit play, they go down, and that's it. And on this button, you can pause the video, you can set the sound. For instance, you can be at the same time on the screen talking about the video, which is good. For instance, if you want to talk about the commentary you made on Amazonia, for instance, or how it is to be living close to Stone Age and show the environment around Stone Age, this could be a good option.
That's totally Joe. If you want to switch into my studio, then we can do a bit of demonstrating what actually happens. Brilliant. Okay. The magic of live video is that I can now bring Joe on screen. You'd have
Oh
to
my
leave the
God.
other way if you're in both.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
You're,
Just a minute. Good. Okay.
you're still in
What
my
I need to
guest,
do.
Steven.
What I need to do is I need to switch my microphone off.
Okay. No sound, Steven.
Right.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Good. Okay. Sorry, Marco. It's over to you. We've now got 2 people on screen, and I'll go through the screen layouts
Yeah, perfect.
so
Thank you.
that you can see Joe and me side by side. You can see us in a slightly different layout in a moment when it changes, if it changes, or we can go like that. This is practice beforehand, of course. Or we can go like that, or we can go like that. You've got various screen displays you can actually use, and this particular one is very handy if you're doing a screen share, or if you want to
Okay.
show your guest big on the screen whilst you're still there.
Absolutely.
And it's
And
just sorry.
one of the things that it's very interesting is now that the producer can control the sound of the microphones on that bar below the image on the
Yeah, yeah,
yeah and
I can.
also you can those two buttons on the top, one is to put the person on each preview as a full screen, and the other one is to put the person on the stream or to take them off of the screen. Okay, very easy to use as you may see. And then we can see on the right side there's four tabs. One is chat, is where comments appear on the screen, and then you can bring them to the screen. Then there's captions, where you can set banners to the show, like CTAs, like bringing some topics to the conversation, making showing the title, a kind of agenda. Also, it's where you put this information. And they have, I think they have by now, they have 4 themes on Restream. Now on graphics, if you don't mind, Stephen.
It's all right. I'm following you. There may be a delay though. You've got to allow for that.
Okay, perfect. Well, we have 3 themes, so and you can try them all. You can set the primary color, where you can put the code of your color, and it's good for branding. Okay. This overlay chat is something interesting because it puts on this aside the comments, the comments feed from every platform. Because one of the things, for instance, if you are watching, if this is and Restream allows you to make a multi-stream, what can happen? You may be missing conversation which are happening in other platforms. Okay, for instance, you are watching on Facebook and you don't see the chat on YouTube, or you don't see the chat on LinkedIn. This feature allows you to see the whole conversation people are taking in every place. I think it's in the main picture, it's good, but it can bring some troll conversation to the screen. But I think it's very easy to manage that. But I think it's a good option when you are, for instance, on Facebook. You can catch the conversation people are having on other platforms, which is good. You can then place avatars, participant names. If you want, you can put it or you can hide them. Okay, you can insert logo, you can insert overlays, which are also very good. Also, you can put videos, like I said before, a countdown video, an intro video, an outro video, something that it's important. And as you may see, it's very easy to add them to the broadcast. It's very straightforward. You don't have to make a college degree to work with this.
Sorry, I couldn't resist, Mark. I made it, so I thought I'd show it.
No problem. And
Right, hopefully this time it won't come right.
I think I think we can go to the last tab, Stephen, if you don't mind, the setup tab.
Should he? Yeah.
Is where it's the place where you can put the title to the broadcast, also a description. Okay, and also you can choose the channels where you want to broadcast. It's very easy. Let me change the layout, because like this I'm hiding. Okay, so as you may see, it's very easy to put. It's just switch buttons. That doesn't, and you can edit the way you're. For instance, if you don't mind, Stephen, to hit the YouTube edit button, please.
YouTube, yeah. Okay.
For instance, scroll a little, please.
You scroll. I got the title and description of the description is a beta feature. So we've got the title and description.
Okay, I think it's if you want to, for instance, if you want to set the privacy settings on your broadcast, you have to go to that top left button, right under the R, and then you can choose if you want to make the broadcast private on YouTube, if you want to make it unlisted, or if you want to make it public. Okay, which is also very it's very easy to do that. If you don't mind, Steve, to show the.
I'm trying. We've got a delay though. Bear that in mind.
Okay.
Would you want me to click on the marker?
Yes, let me check. Oh, I can't do that because it automatically throws me to the studio. I was if you can go to the channel list on the top left, please, where we can add channels and bring them to or erase.
It says we're about to leave. Joe, anything can happen now. Okay.
Okay, perfect. I think we are okay. There you go. Here is the place where we can add new channels. Well, you have all these these options. Okay, so I don't know if you mind to hit a YouTube channel, Stephen.
I'm going to get a message.
Okay. Okay.
I would need to upgrade.
It's easy. Please, just one of the listed channels, and hit the cog. Or
Well, you want any of the channels?
no. If you can go back to the yes. Okay, and you go to one of the listed YouTube channels, for instance. There's this small cog. Yes, if you can hit there, please. You can edit settings. And for instance, there's the I think it's okay. Hit there, please.
Okay.
Yes. Then if you schedule in, it's on the event schedule. Yeah, yes, you can set if you want the video to be private or just unlisted or public.
Okay. At the moment, I'm not seeing that, but I may have taken a wrong turn.
Yeah, I think it's when you schedule the event. Okay, on that star. So I think it's good. You can get back if you don't.
If I go to events, here's an event taking place at 5 p.m.
Okay, perfect.
And that's the live talks on Restream, and that is going to go live. And when it does go live, I'm going to break it here, I know, because we are pushing it out. It'll go live to where I sent it to. Yeah, which is not there at the moment. Okay, let's go. Shall I go back to the beginning? Because there is one feature that you and I both appreciate. I just want to go to it, and just then it's back to you. But I just want to share this one thing.
Okay, perfect.
The analytics, you don't get this on any other platform.
No, not at
Okay.
all.
If I go to all sessions and I go to the show on February 24th, we get information about the broadcast, and it tells us how many people are watching on average, maximum number of minutes watched, how many people watched, and basically where they watched from. And we didn't go to YouTube, obviously. I don't think we made it to Periscope either, but you are seeing where your views come from and your
Absolutely.
comments as well. So I go back to the beginning. I'll do as you say now. Okay.
Okay. Well, you can join us now, please. I think it's
Joe's still here. I wonder if Joe's still here. Just a minute.
I think Joe left.
I'm here. I'm back in the main room.
All right. Okay. Okay. So the main
Well,
room, this room is empty. I'm going to stop my screen share now.
okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Stephen.
Okay. That was interesting.
Absolutely. So I think it's one of the and the thing is about one of the most interesting thing about Restream is that Stephen and I we picked Restream when they started. They released this live studio, and it's amazing how they evolved in just 1 year. How many features they brought, and for me, this analytics thing is amazing. It's huge, and it helps you a lot about your live streams, don't you?
Yeah, it totally gives you guidance on where your viewers are. And I mean, the thing is, you said earlier, the chat from everywhere you go to comes in chronological order. You can show it all on the screen, or you can show part of it on the screen. And the newest thing that you mentioned just before it came live is that you've now got RTMP. And I seem to have 2 RTMP options now in the studio. So that could be interesting.
Absolutely.
Just explain to all the newbies, Stephen and Marco, what RTMP is, what it does.
Stephen?
Right. Thank you. Okay. In the days before we had what we're using now, which is WebRTC, which was created by Google, and that's what allows all these pictures and audio to actually transfer across the internet. RTMP is Remote Transfer Protocol, and if Facebook give you an access to their site, they give you an API. Okay, sorry for the lingo. API is Application Programming Interface, and that means that's the wherewithal to actually integrate, to actually show comments on screen, to do everything that Facebook allows us to. Yeah. Now that API access is complete access. Facebook put no limits on it. RTMP, however, it means that you're just sending your picture and your video and audio somewhere else. Yeah. So you're not integrating with the place you're going to, you're just broadcasting to it. Yeah. So no, there are 2 types of RTMP. One is RTMP in, and the other one is RTMP out. So RTMP in means that you can bring in to your studio, whichever type of studio you've got, you can bring in feeds from OBS and vMix and XSplit, and you can bring those feeds straight in. When you're broadcasting out, if you're not going to use, you don't want integrated comments, you can broadcast to Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, in fact, whichever site accepts RTMP, you can broadcast to. So you can show your pictures, everything you can see on screen will go out to the site that you're sending it to. Yeah, without explicit permission, you're just allowed to do it.
Excellent.
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you so much. So now it's time to get to the second topic of the show. Today we have 3. So the next one, it's about bringing guests, which is something we all love to bring guests to our shows, and I think it's also kind of a pain to people because, for instance, when I started, I for me it was very clear how important it was to bring guests because they will bring you audience because some of their community will join your show. They will bring you authority because if you have someone who people recognizes as someone valuable, someone who knows a lot, it is this, it happens this authority transfer, which is also very good. It also brings different perspectives to your audience, different areas of knowledge, which is good because even though we may be smart, we may be good at something, we are not good at everything. So it's good to bring guests, and also it's good to to our own knowledge because I've learned a lot. One day, one guy said to me, "Well, because you had so many guests, you made an MBA with them because you learn a lot for so many fields." And I think it's true. So it's very good to bring guests. But on on the other side, it's sometimes we don't know where to start picking on the right guests. We don't know how can I say, how can I tell that that guest is good for me. So I have my thoughts, but maybe because we are three of us and usually three heads think better than just one, maybe you can bring also your insights about this. Who wants to start? Mr. Joe, okay.
There we go. There we go. I think that one of the things that I try to transfer, because it's about telling a story. So there you go, Yayon, who's a friend of ours that we've introduced to come and look at it this week. We're always looking, I think, for people who are online who can express themselves well. So if you take, for example, we started with our rugby shows, then I'm constantly looking in groups and forums over the 3 years or so that I've been doing that for people who, and it is quite easy to find people who stand out in a forum or a group and who can express themselves well, who can hold themselves and can have a balanced bit of debate. So I'm looking for those people to both come on as a provisional guest on a show and also then to become a guest presenter at some point. So I'm always looking sort of 2 steps ahead. So for that, that's how I look for the right type of guest, somebody who I believe has the potential. One of the things, as we all know, guys, is when we speak to those people, they are so, I'm not going on TV. I'm not going to go live. You know, I don't mind. And yet, of course, there's some very, very simple ways of breaking that down. When I first want to engage with somebody, I give them a temporary link to get them into a studio. So we have a chat like this. And then at the end of it, they realize, oh, is that all it is? And that's the first step. So it's really guiding and coaching and mentoring from point one. But it's that engagement. It's that courtesy. You know, sometimes you can see something in somebody that they don't necessarily see in themselves or have never thought about. So you begin that conversation, you build a relationship, you build a friendship, and then, you know, you're saying, this is what I'm looking for. So that's how I build that. And that's from everybody from the lowest level to the perceived highest level for the rugby shows. For the businesses, it's a very similar thing. But you're speaking with whoever owns the company. You know, generally I work with small local artisan businesses, which I love to do. And we're saying to them, okay, so we tell the story about you, and then let's bring in the people that you work with as well. So who are your suppliers? Who do you joint venture with? So at the weekend, for example, we had a South African food company, Kanako Biltong, and we had one of their suppliers on, a brewery up in Ulster, who joined forces together. And there's more of this. So they're part of their story as well. So you're now expanding the story. You're getting some great guests on. You're building that relationship further. And your life for your business is now going from the single entity through a guest into their world, in which is going to find new people. And it's just a simple process. And treat everybody, regardless who comes on my shows, whatever I'm doing, every single individual gets treated exactly the same, regardless of whether they're perceived to be a current or former top-end elite level player or a huge businessman or a leader or whatever. everybody gets treated exactly the same, because that's the way I'd like to be treated, and that's just how I adopt my processes.
Perfect, perfect. Stephen.
I'm very fortunate that I rarely broadcast solo, apart from on a Tuesday. I broadcast with friends. So I've met many people over the years and enjoy their company, and we get together and we do shows together, Monday through Friday. In terms of guests, the thing I look for is somebody who is approachable and not necessarily charismatic, but has a story to tell. I think we all have stories to tell. Some are longer than others, and it's the long ones that I like, because you can actually get behind people, well, you can actually get to know more about people. And there are no rules for my guests other than respect and respect of their audience. And I do think that this is the best way to get known. I mean, the best way for us to get known is the shows that we're doing this week, of course. And in addition to that, as you do, Marco, is to be a guest on other people's shows. Yeah. So rather than bringing a guest in, you go out and be a guest. And that is a valid way of actually reaching a new audience, because you're actually you're taking your audience with you, hopefully, and you're joining the audience of your host. And it's a win-win situation. As Marco said earlier, it's a chance for, as a guest, expertise, and for the host to learn. So it's a learning experience as well. And it just works. It is basically as if Joe's always giving tips out. Today's tip is bring your guest into the studio without them knowing it. I love that one. I'll adopt that, I think. It basically, if we can overcome people's fears of being on live broadcast, there isn't a reason why everyone shouldn't be able to do it. Okay. And I mean, hosting and producing a show is a totally separate thing, but appearing as a guest should be an enjoyable, informative experience where you get to meet new people.
Absolutely, and I think this this idea that Joe brought to the table, which to be honest, I I don't do this often, because one of the things I like to say to people, because I'm not, I don't know how to pick, and if I get a no, and one tip I give to them is, look if they are already on the live stream or podcast world, because if they are being guests in other shows, this is a kind of a sign that they will accept your invitation. I think it's easier. But yes, and this bring us to something that is very important, and I think all of us made hundreds of shows with guests and this everything, and one of the things that for me it's important, and for you as well, is the experience your guests have when it is with you, because this digital world is very small. And for instance, if I bring some guest and he or she doesn't have a nice experience, my audience will tell that, he or she will tell that, and the word will spread, because they, how do you felt about, oh my god, I don't want to get back to that. Okay. And I think, for instance, one of the good things I my experience gives me is, usually I upload my videos. I download them from the platform I used to, and then I make a backup on Google Photos. I have I have there a huge folder with my live shows, and some from time to time I go there for instance to find a video or something, and I scroll and I see smiley faces, and I see, oh my god, they are enjoying, and this is, for me, is very good. And one of the good things about this, and I think it's also something important to see at the end, how do you feel that the show was good, is when your guests, and this happened to me a few times in my last shows, they say to, oh, you brought me point of views I didn't had till I made the show with you. And this is good, because it's also something important, and to bring new perspectives to your guests, and this is also one thing why you should be a guest in other shows, because at some point they may throw you a question you never thought about it, and this is good
like one about RTMP. So the
for
question you
instance.
want to
Yes, absolutely, and this brings value to me as a host or a guest, and also to our audience, and this is it's truly important for me. Another thing I think it's very important when you want to bring guests is, and it comes back to the situation. You should, if you can, you should see how do they act like guests in other shows. Because, for instance, you want to bring someone to your show and you go to see him or she in other people's show, and he's like that. Yeah, okay, yes. In a noisy place, or he's holding the phone while he's walking in the house, and you see the cat. Well, for me, it doesn't bother if at some point the cat invades the stream. For me, it's not a problem at all, because that's life. But if you see a crowded room behind him or she, and these kind of things, it shows, and it's something important. Every movement you make shows you how you are. And it is very disrespectful if someone wants to bring you to their show and you don't act as you're supposed to act, even though you're the superstar in the field. I think it's a very unrespectful, disrespectful to act like, for instance, you're not in a cafe with noise, or your internet it's not good, or you don't came at the right time to start. For instance, usually I go from 5 to 10 minutes before the show starts to see, and because I like that on my show too, to have the guests before the show starts a little bit, because we have this warm-up conversation, and then the conversation flows even better, and I think it's good. And also another thing, just to finish, another thing which you should think when you want to think about guests is look if they are doing their own show also, because this is an opportunity to be known by their audience, his or she audience, and this is good because it can show you to a different people who may like you and who may want to follow you, and this is very important for me. Stephen, I think you want to say something.
Yeah, I agree with much agree with most of what you said. I think it is very important that if you're going to be a guest on somebody's broadcast, you need to respect your host and the audience. And if you're distracted and you're not really interested in the conversation that's taking place, then you are responsible for it. Distracting you is just be respectful of your host and your viewers is so important, because the image that you give out on screen, we give out on screen now, is the one that you remember us by. You won't remember us from something we did 2 months ago or 2 years ago. You remember us as we are now, and the image that we project in the way that we get involved, the way that we actually talk with each other. I mean, this is 3 friends having a chat, so this is a different sort of broadcast. But in general terms, if you've got a guest you don't know, or if you're a guest on a new show, a show that's new to you, then you should show respect, Joe. Do you agree?
Absolutely.
Yeah, totally, absolutely, totally agree. What I expect from people is very simple. You know, it's building that relationships, and I love everything that Marco says. You know, sometimes it's finding that balance. The people that you find initially that you think would be really good, and excuse me, I said before, it's that from point one, almost coaching and mentoring them through the process, because we've been through that process of how uneasy it was, and then getting them to understand that, you know, when you send them the studio access link, you know, making sure that, guys, we need to do a test before, it takes 2 minutes. But actually that test is, yes, to test the link. I came on at about 20 to 3 today, just make sure I could get into the studio before I went off and did some more stuff. So I knew that I could get in easily enough. I was ready. or you get people in maybe 24 hours before. A 2-minute check, just so, especially because we all know the problems with Apple. Excuse me, and that can be a real issue. So making sure people have done that, but it also allows that next level of being able to reassure people and build that relationship with them and say, okay, listen, have you got you can test the audio visual, have you got some earbuds there? Is this where you're going to be sat for the live chat tonight when we go live? No, I'll be somewhere else. Okay, can we have a quick look at it? It's a bit busy, not a problem at all. You're just managing expectations on all sides. And again, the document that we're putting together will cover all those things for people. It's just a steps that everything is people, systems, and processes, and just building that relationship. And I find that Marco says that when you chat with people before, although it's a test, you're building that relationship with people. You're managing those expectations, and it helps in so many ways. I had a guy last week. I was doing another show for somebody. I went on to do the check with him, and we were on there for 45 minutes on a check because we were chatting about different things. We found out we had an awful lot in common, and he now wants to come and do some work with me potentially. Now, I had no intentions of that whatsoever, but as you build that, it's that link in, Marco, that you were talking about, where it makes it easier. It wants to show, it's almost like the part one of the show that people don't.
Yeah.
I'd love to do some of these outtakes sometimes when I'm doing the tests, because there's some great, sometimes I have to say to people, don't peak too soon. That's brilliant, because actually, although you've got your show running all there, once you're chatting with people about stuff, they come out with some things and you think, we need to add that in. I had no idea, no matter how much research I did. And so all of those things are just, it's common courtesy, builds respect on both sides, and it just makes sure that you're doing everything you can to make it an enjoyable broadcast for everybody, for us, for the guests, and for the viewers.
Absolutely. And talking by guests, viewers, and producers, do you want Joe to talk about our blueprint?
Yeah, absolutely. We covered briefly yesterday, but I'm just wondering. I quite like Restream because I'm exploring around it more and more, but I don't. It's not something I use. So I'm just gonna, if I can, I'm gonna see whether I can share something briefly. I'll need to come back in and see whether that is.
It's got it down below, red line through it.
Okay. Okay, so I've got that. That is sharing, but I'm not seeing that on the screen. How do I then share that, Mark? I've shared.
Okay, maybe it's on my end now, because I've seen something here. Let me see if is this.
There we go. Okay, so yeah. No. Okay, so this is a draft. So I just want to give people the images are going to change, everything is going to change, but this is the draft of what's coming. Oh, best practice. Look at that, people. And I am going to stop sharing straight away. And I'm going to stop sharing because I don't want to whet your appetite too much. There. Just for
teaser, you're a teaser.
Just for people who think that maybe they're just making it up into this week. I'll throw some names together. No, it's been a long time. It's overdue, actually. My bad, it's overdue. But it is there, and the whole idea of the live video production best practice or blueprint is to manage expectations. We have found, as Stephen covered yesterday, we have found, especially in the last 12 months since COVID and lockdown, that there's been a mass explosion of icon live video events, vlogs, live video podcasts, whatever you wish to call them. And excuse me, there are people out there who maybe aren't as good as they would like to be. And so there's additional training. There are people out there. We've got Yayon, who was on before, who was watching. We've got a team of people who are interested in becoming hosts and or producers in their own right as well. And more especially managing the expectations of what an individual can do from somebody who is already involved to people who want to become involved, because there are 4 levels really of being a live streamer, from using your phone up to top-end studios, but also to manage the expectations for potential businesses. This year, if you look at the Tech Jury stats, is a $70 billion industry. It is only going to get bigger. It allows businesses and organizations to get their message out there through the Facebook pages, through the YouTube channels, to their customers, to their clients, to potential customers and clients, and let them know that they are still existing and there's a new way of being able to do business. Now, those businesses need to know what to expect. Their management, their expectations need to be managed by a host and producer. So the whole idea is to give a best practice at the lowest levels that we can for both organizations, for individuals who want to utilize live video online events, live video production in support of their businesses or their organizations and their goals, and also to be able to eventually train people. And as Steve said yesterday, this is going to be a commercial project. We make no apologies about that. It is a market. We have been doing all this for free for so long. Why shouldn't we? We've been asked to put these type of things together. And can we train people? Yes, we can, and we will be. So the live video production blueprint, which will come out in the next 7 to 10 days, is the first part really of starting that process to be able to marry up training individuals or taking them from a certain level to another level, and being able to then marry up the businesses who want live video production hosting or engagement or production with those people who are trained, and we'll be able to provide those for them. And that's it, really.
I mean, there are two sides to this. One is, as Joe said a moment ago, millions of people have become live broadcasters in the last 15 months. They now have a skill set. They now know how to run a studio. They know how to go live. They know how to interview people. But there is no formal qualification or no framework to work with as a show producer. How do you know whether you're good or not? Nobody's telling you. How do you know what to charge? Nobody's advising you. What the framework does is to give potential show producers the support and backing that they need to decide whether they can provide a service, if so, at what level, if so, at what price. And it's a way of making money. If you can produce a show for somebody and you can get yourself several clients, then you have a small business. From what started off as, what's this about? You've gone and you've learned on the job. There's no better way to learn to actually do it. We're going to help you take that next step from being a semi-professional to having a professional approach to live broadcasting. On the other side of the coin, the second side of the coin, is the fact that there are a lot of companies, small companies, who have a story to tell, a story about their business, a story about their products, but they're not telling it. And not telling it for one simple reason: they don't want to get involved in BeLive, StreamYard, Restream, or Mullen by Streamlabs. They don't want that. They don't want to do the back office. They're not interested. They just want to be the talent. They want to turn up on camera, make sure they look good, make sure the camera looks right, make sure they sound good, and just go live and tell their stories. Those are the people who need a producer. Millions of small businesses should now realize, as Joe said, this is a multi-billion-dollar industry. And to be part of it, you don't have to do it yourself. You can have somebody who can produce it for you, who can look after you from before the show, during the show, and after the show. And it's not rocket science, but it does take organization and a framework. And that's what the team, especially Joe, have been doing since last September, putting together a framework that you can identify with, where you can actually know what your skill set is, what level you can go in at. And we're going to do the world's first ever matchmaking service for broadcasters and potential clients, in that we will help potential clients find the right broadcaster. Okay, and we'll tell broadcasters what they need to do to be found and to be hired. Okay, and it's all about, it's like being a musician. It's like having a decent back catalogue, and the back catalogue in this case is the shows you've already produced. Okay.
Absolutely. Well, Joe was talking, and this came to my mind. One guest I had the other day, which is a web designer, and he builds websites. And one of the things that I asked him, why should I hire you instead of trying to do by myself the website. And he came with a simple idea, and I think, okay, you nailed it, which was, look, the problem with that, yes, you can go to YouTube, you can go to Udemy, find courses about WordPress and everything. But the problem is, my first website was by far the worst I made. So what you're telling me is that your site will be the worst you can make, because it's the first one you're making.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you giving that shot on your foot with your business? So I think it's kind of the same here. You want to look good on the screen. You want to shine. You want your company to be known as professional, as good, as warm. Because I think it's something important about live streaming is the warmth you show through this. Because by far for me it's the most human touch you get on internet when it's time to interact, to share content, and to share knowledge, to share stories and everything. Live streaming is by far for me the most human presence you can have on internet. So my question is, do you want to try it and to go to run the faster path because you want to do it by yourself, or do you want someone to help you to shorten the way and to bring you better results? It's up to you.
Absolutely.
Said.
I don't know if you want to add something more to the conversation.
Well, basically, today is, as Joe said, we're 7 to 10 days away from the launch. Joe's given us a teaser today of what it's all about, and we've done some explaining, the three of us, about our thoughts about it. And we're 3 out of a team of 10, and you'll be hearing from them in the coming weeks and months as we actually promote the live video production blueprint, explain it, and bring you on board. Now, we've got all sorts of things working in the background. Obviously, we've got our Facebook page, we've got a website, we've got the group, we've got the document. There's so many things that we're trying to bring together so that we can help you in 2021, whether you be a show producer or looking for somebody to produce your show. Then live video production is the place to visit.
And by the way, I can assure to you, to both of you, my colleagues, and also to our audience, that there will be an Amazon Live releasing launching book. Also.
Truly.
So
Truly.
stay tuned. Well, so it's time to wrap up. Thank you so much, Stephen. Thank you so much, Joe, to joining me today about on this 3-party conversation. We talked a little bit about Restream, and by the way, I think I have somewhere a link for you to try Restream. Let me see. Okay, there you go. Okay, if you want to try Restream, it's my affiliate link.
You're Joe. I mean, we're not going to argue.
Thank you so much. And then we talked a little bit about bringing guests to our shows, how you can spot them, how you can see if they are a good fit or not to your show, how you can, why you should bring guests, because it's something very important, why you should, because sometimes it's not very clear. Oh, why should I bring guests and give them spotlight on my place? Why should I? You should, believe me. And also we talked about this blueprint for live producers, which could be and will be a good help for you, even if you are a producer, a live producer, or if you are a business owner or a freelancer, a professional who wants to take advantage of live streaming. And believe me, there are lots of advantages using live streaming. So it's time to say goodbye. Hope you all keep safe. And tomorrow it's time to join Nick talking about melon which is also a nice tool. So see you tomorrow. Bye bye.
Ciao.
Bye.